Are you tired of being killed over and over and over again by some stupid noob from 2 miles away? Do you see other snipers perform way better than you and even get 100 plus kill games and think, damn, I wanna be as good as that handsome, funny and overall perfect guy called Joey? Are you a dumb retard that thinks everyone who is better than you is just a cheater? Do you just want to get good at long range sniping? Well, don't worry, because I have the ultimate long range sniping guide for you. But before we do any of that, let's understand what long-range sniping is. See, when you use a sniper, there is a thing called zeroing that adjusts the scope to whatever distance is needed so you don't have to think for yourself. So for example, if there's someone at 500 meters, instead of aiming higher, you can just zero the sniper at 500 meters and the bullet will automatically go where target is. Joey, why are you telling me this? I don't give a fuck! Well, sit your ass down, this is important because the zeroing of the sniper defines the 3 ranges you can snipe at. Short, mid, and long range. These 3 ranges depend on what the max zeroing of the sniper you're using is, and since in this guide I'll be using the M200, the max zeroing is 1400 meters. For short range, we divide the max zeroing by 2 and take the first half. 1400 divided by 2 is 700, so the first 700 meters while using the M200 is considered short range. The second half, so if I'm still using the M200, every shot between 700 and 1400 meters is considered mid-range, and every shot beyond the max zeroing is long range. Now that we got that out of the way, let's take a look at loadouts. A good loadout is as important as a good aim, so I'll be showing you the best options, and depending on your playstyle, you choose whatever you think is best for you. I'm gonna say it real quick without any explanations or alternatives first, for those who don't care about the reasons and just want the best loadout, and then I'll explain everything. So, M200, 40x scope, ranger, bipod, rangefinder, range armor, and light backpack. Done. Now I'll do a more detailed explanation for those who care. As I said before, the M200 is the best sniper by far. The bullet speed on this thing is insane, and trust me, we need as much bullet speed as possible because these shots take a while to land. The M200 has a max zeroing of 1400 meters, the highest in the game, and sometimes there is a lot of 1700 meter shots, so a high zeroing makes everything much easier. But Joey, how am I supposed to see anything at 1700 meters? You use a 40x scope, dummy. This big boy lets you see everything at any distance. But the glint? What about the glint? Everyone will know where I am. Everyone already knows where you are because there is not that many long-range sniping spots, and we don't really care about being sneaky, so the glint won't give out any information you wanna hide. In any case, it will just attract more people, which is good because it means more kills. Also, a good movement can hide the glint almost all the time, so don't worry. For the muzzle, we have 2 options, suppressor and ranger. The M200 makes a loud sound every time you shoot, and some people can react to the sound and hide before the bullet hits, so the suppressor is a good option against some players. However, in my opinion, there is a better option. The ranger. Before the last update, the ranger used to add damage after a certain distance, but they removed it. It isn't that big of a deal because the M200 one-shots anyways after 900 meters. The reason we use the ranger is because it makes it easier to aim, not having to aim that high. For the attachments, we also have 2 options, the bipod and the angled grip. Each one serves a completely different purpose, so depending on your playstyle, this can change too. The angled grip has the least aim down time of any attachments, meaning aiming is way faster, making quick scopes easier. The only problem is that you need to hold your breath to aim. If you have a good breath management, this isn't that big of a deal, but having to wait for your breath to recover ends up wasting a lot of time at the end of the game. That's the time you don't spend shooting, therefore you get less kills. If you prefer quick but less kills over more kills but being slower, this is the best option for you. If you'd rather get high kill games and those juicy 7 plus kill chains, the bipod is the best option, because it completely removes the breath management feature, and the scope is way more stable. The only problem is that aiming is slow as fuck. I still think it's better than the angle grip, at least for my playstyle, so that's what I'd recommend. There's not much to say about the rangefinder, there's just no better option. For an aggressive playstyle, fast movement is prioritized, but when being so far away, we prioritize ammo, that's why we take the option with more max. In this case, ranger armor and light backpack. Also, don't forget to use the bolt action E. Each bolt you unlock is better than the latter, so the last one is the best. And with this, the loadouts stage is done. Now, let's figure out how to aim. Reminder, this aiming guide works if you use the loadout I just recommended. If you change something, then this may not work for you. First of all, and this is more of a scope trick than anything else, try to scope in and out between shots. It helps you see other players, your awareness is improved, and it helps moving the scope around. Definitely faster than just moving while scoping. There are 2 ways to aim, one for the more inexperienced players, and one for those who are already used to long range sniping. First way to aim, zeroed at 1000. Ready for a quick math class? I don't really care if you are, I'm just gonna say it anyways. Okay, take whatever distance the rangefinder gives you. For this example, I'll use 700 meters because that's a usual shot for long-range snipers, but this works for any distance. Take that distance, and with your little monkey brain, take 700 out, and zero the scope to whatever that number is. So 1700 minus 700 equals 1000. So we zero 1000 and put the target on the first line below the cross, right over here. If the target was at 1500 meters, 0 at 800, or if it was at 900 meters, 0 at 1200 meters. It's always the same math. It's also important to take into account that there is a slight difference on where to aim depending on the distance of the target. Aiming at someone at 1710 meters is not the same as someone at 1780. Aiming at a target on the low 10s should look something like this, but someone on the high 10s should look more like this. This math stops working at 2100 meters. After that distance, I just recommend zeroing at 1400 meters and trying until you get a shot. But there's not that many 2100 meter shots in an average game unless you want to get some 2550s in a Sunday game, so don't worry. For distances lower than 1400, you can just change the zeroing to whatever the rangefinder says and you wouldn't miss a shot. The zeroing between shots takes time, and as I said before, time you use not shooting is wasted time. So I recommend getting used to not change the zeroing, only changing it when you missed several shots. For example, shots at 1200 meters, which are very usual, don't need a change of zeroing. The shot should look like this. Really easy, right? This picture shows how to aim at different distances while being zeroed at 1000 meters. Remember this because it's really useful, especially the 1200 meter mark. 1200 meter spots are usually the most crowded areas. Kill change while zeroed at 1000 meters aren't hard at all. Just remember, whenever you get the first kill and aim again, the sniper and the scope are not completely aligned, so the second shot does not go where you think it should. Thankfully, you just kill someone, and there is a hit marker on the screen. That represents the real center of the scope, and it's slowly moving towards its usual spot, and you can wait for it to be completely aligned again, but that is a waste of time. So instead of aiming here, you should aim here, basically the same distance, but starting from the hit marker. This makes kill change way faster. However, there is an easier way to get kill change. Second way to aim, zeroed at 1200 meters. When zeroed at 1200 meters, you can just aim directly to the hit marker, which is way easier. It also makes short range shots a little easier. The only problem is that 1700 meter shots are a little tricky. This picture shows how to aim at different distances while being zeroed at 1200 meters. So I only recommend being zeroed at 1200 meters instead of 1000 if you already have a lot of experience sniping and you can think quickly. For new players, I recommend being zeroed at 1000 meters. It's way easier. Now that we learned how to kill, let's learn how to not die. Next class, movement. It's really important to always keep moving. Staying still against a good sniper is a death sentence. So first of all, forget about proning. Yeah, I know it doesn't make any sense because we're using bipod, but hear me out. You don't need to prone and stay still to activate the bipod. Being a little behind a hill while standing also activates the bipod. So now that you know that you can shoot while standing, you can use it to make it harder for other snipers to kill you. Moving between shots makes you way harder to kill, because now snipers have to predict where you're going to be before shooting. This doesn't make you unkillable, but it for sure improves your chances to stay alive. By doing this, you basically avoid death 80% of the time, but sometimes you will encounter an enemy sniper that is also dodging between shots, and maybe his aim ain't bad either. This is a high enemy priority threat to deal with, because if you don't kill him, he will for sure kill you while you're distracted. These are called duels, a fight between two snipers that know what they're doing. In these battles, you have to be way more focused than usual, and your movement has to change too. In a normal game, you can just move a little bit to the right and to the left and pick always from the same spot without dying. But in a duel, you can't do that unless you wanna die. Whenever you're in a duel, you have to make sure that you don't pick from the same spot and repeat the same movement patterns all the time. Because if you do, the enemy will make a predict shot directly aimed to where you're going to be and kill you. So try to be as random as possible with your movement and picking spots. Sometimes you will dodge a shot and hide to reload or something, and you know that the enemy is waiting for you to pick. He of course has the advantage, and if you go for a shot now, he has higher chances to kill you than you have to kill him. What do you do in these situations? You bait a shot. You pick as if you were going for a shot, and as soon as you see him shooting, you dodge instead of shooting and aim. Now you have the advantage. Don't let him bait you. Be patient, and when you think he's going to pick for real, that's when you shoot. Also, if the enemy sniper's movement is good, you should aim for predicts too. Duels are a game of patience and predictions. Don't get mad if you miss shots. The rare thing is to hit them actually. They aren't that common either, but I do recommend asking someone for one from time to time because it improves your reflexes and predictions a lot. If you implement all of this in your playstyle, you will become a great sniper. The only thing you have left is knowing which maps to play and where to look for kills. At the making of this video, there is only one good map for long-range sniping, but there is also some not as good but still viable options like Bali, Multu, Selfie, and Basra. The best map, without a doubt, is Sandy Sunset. There is a lot of spots to snipe from, meaning more snipers to kill, which is usually how we get most of the kills. These are the best spots to look at on Sandy. If you're on the Russian team, I recommend sniping from this hill, and you should always be looking at these spots. This 600 meter spot, behind and to the right there is two 1200 meter hills where there is usually some snipers. Between these two hills there's a 1600 meter spot you should also be looking at from time to time. Still going to the right there is two 1800 and 1900 meter hills some snipers snipe from sometimes. Next is the most usual spot for long rangers at 1700 meters. There is always at least a sniper here. Looking a little closer, we have this big hill at 1000 meters where there is always some players running around or hiding between these two rocks. Now where we get almost half the kills in a game, the 1200 meter spot that goes all the way to this rock here. Right behind there is a 1400 and an 1800 meter spot. A little to the right there is a 1500 meter spot, and a little more to the right there is another 1700 meter spot where there is always at least a sniper or two. And if we keep going a little more, there is another 1200 meter hill. Those are the usual spots you should always be looking at to find kills, but there is also times when snipers are coming for you at a closer range. They usually stay at this 600-700 meter hill and this 400 meter hill, and if they come from the left, they usually stay at this 800 meter spot. If you are on the US team, I recommend sniping from this hill and looking at these spots. This objective at 500 meters, this big hill at 1600 meters that goes all the way from here to here, this 1000 meter spot where you can always kill some players running around, the hill at 1700 meters we snipe from if we are on the Russian team, another 1700 meter hill to the right, this 1100 meter objective, this 1500 meter hill right behind. If you keep going to the right there is this big 1700 meter hill, and if you look a little closer there is this 1200 meter spot. If you're on this side, short rangers only come from the right. They're usually at this 600 meter hill, but some of them get even closer, so be careful. And that's it. That's all you need to know to become a great sniper. However, I'll give you some general tips that might also help you. First, avoid darker skins. Sandy is a really orange-ish map, where black stands out a lot, so try using a color that blends in better with the color of the hill and the sky. Second, at long range sometimes it's a little hard to see players, so I recommend going to your settings and lowering the brightness so players are easier to spot. Third, don't build this thing. It makes the enemy snipers know where you're going to pick from. If you want some cover, you can call a supply crate on top of the hill. That will serve as a safe spot, but don't fill the hill with them, that would be annoying. Fourth, if you want to practice short range shots, I recommend joining a 64x64 infantry conquest Sandy game and going to this tower. Everyone will know where you are and try to snipe you, so this is good practice and it will improve a lot your reflexes, your aim, and your dodging. Use the angle grip here, because you won't be able to use the bipod and it's slower anyways, and at short distances it's important to aim as fast as possible. If you want to call a supply crate here, just call it where you are and it will drop on the roof, but don't worry, you can resupply through it. Fifth, don't get mad if you die a lot at first or if you miss a lot of shots. It's all about practice and muscle memory. If you really put in the work, you will be getting insane shots without even thinking where you have to aim. And last tip, get ready to get griefed. There is a lot of players that get mad when you kill them, or they just hate snipers. When they see you at the top kills of the game, they think you're cheating and start griefing you, throwing smoke grenades so you can see, building in front of you, running you over with a Humvee, everything they can to ruin your game. So be mentally prepared, because the life of a good sniper is not easy. In these cases, I recommend recording it and reporting it. It actually works. And with these tips, the guide is done. If you're hearing this, thank you. Thank you for staying until the end. This video took a while to make, and hopefully it has helped you at least in one way. I think I covered everything that's important to become a great long-range sniper, but if you still have some doubts about something, you can just leave a comment with your question, or you can also reach me out through Discord. I'm on the BattleBit official server, so it's easy to find me. That's all I had to say. Thank you for watching, like, subscribe, hit the bell button, give me your skin and all your money, sacrifice your firstborn, and all those things YouTubers say. See ya!